Just to let you know that what I'm sharing is not scripted. So we may not have the best of the words and best of the sentence structures. And I don't want you to get disturbed and distracted, but rather focus on the message and see what plans you can have to build your life better in faith. We are going to take the reflection of Bartimaeus the blind beggar and Jesus and see the significance of this story in our daily practical lives. Now Bartimaeus was on the way where Jesus was passing by. He must have heard of Jesus, must have never seen Jesus or never met Jesus. Not seen Jesus because he was blind. Not met Jesus. If he met Jesus, he could have got cured right at the first meeting. He heard the noisy surrounding, and the moment he heard that it was Jesus who was passing by, it is said he cries and shouts, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." People try to silence him. Imagine the scene. Bartimaeus crying out to Jesus, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." And all these hundreds and thousands of people who are following Jesus, they try to silence him, keep him quiet. And when they do so, he shouts even more, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Nothing on earth could ever stop Bartimaeus from calling out to Jesus. And when Jesus hears him, he says, "Call him here." And these people pass this message to Bartimaeus. His excitement, his bubbling life for Jesus, or looking help from Jesus was so much that no one could ever deter him. Now how often we stop our good work, our good intentions, because someone is not in favor of us. Someone doesn't like it. Someone is not in favor of the work that we are doing. Someone doesn't like these intentions that we have. And because someone tries to silence us, we want to give up. See, others never know what God inspires you. They are never aware what dreams God has implanted in you. They never know your dreams. They never know who you are. They will only get a little feel of what they see you. But what's in your heart, what's in your mind, it's between you and God. You know it. So you need to be strong. These dreams are unique to you as much as you are unique to the world. Consider the scene of Bartimaeus. No one else ever knew that this is the time of Bartimaeus. They did not know the bubbling excitement of Bartimaeus, that God had inspired him that this is his time of miracle. If others knew, they would have also be part of it. But in the whole of the crowd, it's just Bartimaeus. Because he knew that this is what God inspired him. I cannot shut my mouth. I cannot keep quiet. And he kept crying out to Jesus, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Did God inspire you in anything? And do you feel that the crowd is not with me? My relatives, my friends are not with me. Those are not their dreams. Those are not their inspirations. Those inspirations are given to you. Now the crowd following Jesus tried to shut him off, silence him. They tried to discourage him. But when Jesus passes this message to call him, they say, "Take heart, get up, he is calling you." They are with a different standpoint now. Their opinion changes. Their attitude changes. They change their stance all the time. This is the crowd around you. They will not stand strong to what you have in your mind. They will be swayed according to what they feel, not what you believe that what God has given to you. So who need to stay strong and firm is you. Crowd will be different each time. And even if you have the same crowd, they will have different mind to express to you. you are not the crowd. You are unique. God has called you for a purpose, not like any other, but called you uniquely and called you differently. Now the moment Bartimaeus hears that Jesus has called him, what he does? He throws off his cloak and jumps up. Most of the versions of the Bible will have sprang up or jumped up. Now, did you ever see a beggar jumping up? Did you ever see a homeless man jumping up? We see children jumping around all the time. But did you see that bubbling joy and that atmosphere in a homeless and a beggar? No, that miracle has not taken place yet. The eyes of Bartimaeus are not opened yet. But that Jesus called him, Jesus heard him, Jesus had compassion and love for him, that itself was the miracle. Nothing else mattered to Bartimaeus. That was the moment of the top of the world. It was a miracle for Bartimaeus. So what he does is he throws off his cloak, which means that must have been his only security. That must have been his only secured vestment. At times a roadside beggar or a homeless may have only one cloak. That at times is their house. That at times is their bedding. That at times is everything. And what this Bartimaeus does is he throws off this cloak and jumps up. And throwing off, giving up this security is like, I don't need it anymore. Jesus has called me. Jesus looked at me. Jesus has heard me. Was enough for him to give up all this physical security. For him, God was enough. From now on, God was his security. From now on, Jesus was his security. Know that not just the miracle of opening his eyes, even the application for the miracle is not made yet. Only when he reaches to Jesus, Jesus asks him, what do you want me to do for you? And Bartimaeus says, Teacher, let me see again. So now comes the request of what Jesus is supposed to do. Now comes the request for the miracle. And all that you are seeing before is that faith, that bubbling faith of Bartimaeus. Were you close to God at one time? Did you at one time have that faith? Or maybe you have never got into that faith life, that life which nourishes your soul. When Jesus asked him, what do you want me to do for you? Teacher, let me see again. Do you want to see God once again? Do you want to see that faith in your life once again? This is the time. Every occasion that comes, every celebration and every event of faith that comes around us is an opportunity to start our faith, to increase, to build our faith, to get ever stronger. Bartimaeus said, Lord, my teacher, let me see again. You may want to see again. You may want to see for the first time. You must have had the faith. Somehow it's gone off. You must have never thought to embrace the faith. Why? What has blocked you? Whatever has stopped you? Is it the life of your friends who go to the temple, who go to the church, who go to the sacred places? That they live one type of life at these sacred places and another life before you? Have you given up that hope because they act wrongly? Have you given up the faith or not embraced the faith because of the scandals and abuses of your faith leaders, or of those who go to the church? Scandals and abuses of your priests and even of the bishops? And for that matter, even if there had been or there has been a scandal even of the Pope, why should that ever block you and block your faith? They are not God. Why are you letting someone else block your growth of your spiritual life? All these other people around you, your friends, all these faith leaders, priests, bishops, popes, they were supposed to help you out, not to drain you and your faith. And know that they are not God. Faith is between you and God, and nothing ever on earth should deter you. Nothing ever on earth should stop you. I know we can be hurt, we can be pained, we can be scandalized with what's going on. We are more interested to see what is right and what is wrong. At one time we started to see more injustice and seek justice for that. Perfectly fine. But why should you give up another field of your faith? Why should you give up that God who nourishes you, who enlightens you, who awakens you and makes you bubble with joy? Do you want to make your life miserable because of your church leaders and because of your friends? God gives you why you need to block. God gives you why you need to stop. Jesus came not for Christians. Jesus came for everyone, for everybody. Take this example of Bartimaeus. Everyone was following Jesus. All his disciples, maybe chosen people, all who loved him so much. Bartimaeus wasn't part of this crowd. So Jesus doesn't just hear the crowd and his followers. Jesus hears those who are in need. He has love and compassion for everybody. And Jesus was the face of God. Your friend may not be able to take this place of Jesus. Your friend, your faith leaders, your church leaders may at times may not able to have this face of God projected to you. Jesus was the true face of the love of God, of the compassion and the mercy of God. The compassion and loving heart is there for all of us. The crowd following Jesus, and consider even the leaders of the church, leaders of your faith may at times block you, stop you, silence you, but that should not make you stop crying out to the Lord, crying out to God, have mercy on me. Nothing on earth and no one on earth should ever block you. Don't see them and run away from God. See God individually, apart from these people who fail at times. If they are helping you, go ahead. Let them help and enrich and nourish you. If they are blocking you, they should not deter your faith. They should not block God from you or not block you from God. Meet God every day. That's what every religious event is about. Meeting God and experiencing God, or taking the inspiration to experience God every day. If you are not able to see Him, find Him, or recognize Him every day, there is great possibility that you won't even find Him or recognize Him in life after your death. With all that I have said, don't take me wrong. This is not to protect anyone. Rather, this is to protect you. This is to protect your faith. This is to help you grow in faith despite all the blocks and all the circumstances. Let your focus be on God. See God and see God's face. And don't take someone in middle who deters you, who takes you away from God. Coming back to Bartimaeus. When Bartimaeus said, "Teacher, let me see again," Jesus said to him, "Go, your faith has made you well." Jesus did not first say, "May your eyes be open." Rather, Jesus says, "Go, your faith has made you well." So every time God asks us to go. So even if you're thinking to decide, even if you're deciding today to do something in your life, to build up your life, to get it more of the spiritual, to have new plans in your lives, new situations and new ways of life, don't think that God is going to have all the conditions ready. God is not going to give all the perfect surrounding to start something. He says to us, go. And maybe as you start going, the conditions get established. So we need to start walking with faith. Not start walking because our eyes are open. Not start walking because everything is perfectly fine and it's good to go. Most of the time Jesus will say, go, which means even in those imperfect conditions, start going with faith. And that is what we need to inculcate. The work of faith needs to be done first. Don't wait and don't stay until everything is going to be perfectly fine. God is going to test your faith. How much you are ready to step in and go ahead, that much God is ready to back you and change the condition, bring healing, and make you perfect in His sight.